Yeah, I'm right here.
Sup?
Oh, you're here. Hey. Great. Well, never mind then. He's here.
Well, Popcorn, why don't you start? Because I'm literally in the middle of the game.
Okay, I'm so nervous. I forgot what I was gonna ask.
How about hi? How's it going, Pat?
Oh yeah,
How
hey,
you
how's it going?
It's good. It's good. You know, my wife's a little upset I'm on an AMA when she just got home, but it's okay.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I didn't know she was this early.
Okay.
It's all good, man.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Oh my God,
I'm game.
what
I'm
a
game.
Revolver
I'm
Token.
here.
Okay, can everybody else mute themselves, please? Because we're gonna do an AMA with Pat from Revolver. Sorry, Pat. I just woke up. I'm still like half asleep.
That's like what, 1:30 or something, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
It's late.
I've been up since I think I got up like 6:30. So yesterday. I don't know, man. Fucking crypto. It's a time warp. Like, and then days are bleeding into each other.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it works.
Okay, so why don't you start with letting us know some of your history? Like, if again, I don't know how open you want to be about other projects you worked on.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone knows about HODL Token. So I'm one of the executives over there at HODL Token. That's kind of like where my big history is. Otherwise, I'm just a crypto trader. And I've had some projects on like the Ethereum network and whatnot. Most of them have died because of gas fees, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's kind of the killer of it. I've had a project over there on KCC network, but because of the rambunctious rug pulls that went on over there, that died as well. You know, which I think it'll come back. So I mean, I'm still actively in those chats, still check on them.
Isn't KCC network relatively new?
It is new, but it launched during the bear market, and you know, there was just rug pull after rug pull. I think there's like, I can count on one hand all of the legitimate projects on there.
Really? I didn't know that. I remember when it launched, our admin let us know. It feels like forever ago, but I didn't know that. Like even recently, there was a rug pull on. I think it was Matic. I didn't get the full details on that. It was like $640 million rug pull.
It wasn't like a rug pull. That was like a bull in the bear. So
it was a what? It was a what? Sorry.
It was like an exploit.
Oh, was it?
Like a bull in the bear, yeah, in their code. So there wasn't like it wasn't an actual rug pull. It wasn't done by like the dev or anything like that. It was done by an outside source.
Right. We've had a couple of those recently in the last, I think it's the last month. I can't even really like pinpoint time or do a time range right now. There's one recently on like Astro Rocket. Is it Astro? No, sorry, it was what was it called? Ape Rocket. Sorry. And then there's another. There was a couple. Oh, they forked the same swap. Or I don't even remember. Just a quick question about these about Revolver. So are you guys going to be, do you guys already have tokens lined up?
Yeah, I got like the next 4 weeks lined up already.
Okay.
So like we're already working on like graphics and everything else for when they get built in.
Ooh, very cool.
Just different things like that. So we're gonna take up a slot on the Revolver, and we're just gonna keep rolling it around. So the way that would, like, they're hosted for like a week. We'll do an AMA with their dev, more like an educational AMA about their project, and kind of go between the two communities, and just let them know about the projects and like just educate people on projects they may have never heard of.
Cool. These reward tokens. Have you done one before?
Yeah. HODL Token's a reward token.
Tell us about it. Because I every time I search for it, I find other things. I don't know if I'm finding the right thing.
So let me, before Pat answers that, let me introduce myself as well. I'm pretty much one of Pat's right hands, and I'm from HODL executive team as well. HODL rose to 209 million market cap back as the flash crash was happening. We helped get it up there really quickly, but we quickly imploded with everything else with the bear market that was going on at the time in the beginning, essentially. But yeah, like a lot of the team from HODL is involved in Revolver. It's a very experienced team that spans across multiple time zones and are very passionate about rewards tokens and doing it correctly. Now that we have a dev that we know and trust and is capable of doing things we want when we want, faster, and it's going to open up the ceiling for us and allow us to do things that we want and couldn't do with HODL when we were just more basic admins. And a little bit about myself. I know I just started talking. I'm from the SafeDex Ethos team as well. If you've heard of that, it used to be called Super Shiba. We're a DEX that kind of tries to clean up the space by really, really vetting and auditing every token that we list. So I've been doing that, building communities with them, partnering with them, and 6 years of crypto experience myself, Pat even longer. So, we're pretty excited to just run with this and do it how we know how with again, no one sort of bottlenecking us. And so, yeah, that's kind of our background with HODL and where we're at now. And we think we've got a novel idea here. Let Pat talk now more about that.
Thank you. Was that Dane?
That's Dane Crypto Blast for anyone who doesn't know me here.
Thanks. Sometimes the actual Telegram chat doesn't actually show who's talking. Actually, I just woke up, so I'm fucking half. Like I'm out of it. Like I'm surprised. I slept through my alarms. Like Popcorn had to call me to wake me up. Popcorn, I'm gonna let you ask questions, whatever you got. I think we just need to be run through the actual token website.
Okay, let me just go back to my notes so that I can see what. Okay, you mentioned that in the white paper that this is like a tiki fork. Like, what inspired you to improve their idea? Is it just because of HODL, or I'm just trying to figure out why you guys even mentioned tiki fork?
Well, the reason for mentioning the tiki fork is to be transparent. There's no reason in hiding where we come from or what it is necessarily, because 90% of projects out here are forks, and that's kind of the whole point of the open sourceness, though, is to expand upon other projects' ideas and to take it to the next level if that developer already has it. I chose Tiki just because I like their base layout. I like the dividend tracker. You can make a nice dashboard to go with it. You can do all these different things, as well as it's more customizable than just like a pooling type system where it's a singular token. So being able to have that where we can edit the contract and be able to change the contract address that we're doing as the reward, as well as some other functionalities of it, like being able to add in the liquidity tax and all that different type of things. That's just basically the skim of the top of it.
Could you give us a breakdown of the actual tokenomics, please?
Of like the taxation?
Yep.
Okay, so it's got 1% going towards liquidity, it's got 3% going towards marketing, and then it's got 6% going towards the reward.
And that's the standard transaction on all transactions?
That's on buy transaction. On sell transactions, we do have a multiplier effect. So it'll be 130% is what we have it set at right now. So it'll be obviously divvied up with the extra 30% being into 1, 1, and 1. It's an equal distribution.
And that's just on, so buy is 10 and sell is 13. There's no transactions on moving the token itself?
There's still transaction on moving the token itself. You're still going to have your normal 10%.
Mm-hmm. What are you guys going to do about like these types of tokens? Usually volume just drops off, right? Do you guys have a strategy for what to do about that?
I'm sorry for a second, my wife was talking. Can you repeat that?
These types of tokens sometimes like there's periods of low volume, which just defeats the whole purpose of like of the redistribution. Is there any strategy to actually revive the token when?
That's kind of like the whole purpose of the token right there. I mean, other than the fact of like there's a buyback mechanism and things like that. Just like all the taxes are editable, so we could easily set the taxes to be like, all right, we're going to get rid of the marketing tax and the liquidity tax right now. and we're going to go ahead and do like a flash sale of just like a 5% tax to the reward pool, and the sell tax jumps up to 20% or something like that, and that'll go towards the other portions, and do essentially flash sales to like as a marketing type thing. Or we could even do it lower towards the reward pool, pump your bags real quick, gain a little bit more market volume and a little bit more engagement. And also, if people sell on those green candles, it could make more volume towards the reward pool. But the whole purpose of the token, though, is we believe and feel that there is enough market volume within the DeFi space to keep it within the DeFi space, and building these partnerships with these other tokens that we're going to be rewarding in, because we're doing partnerships. We're not just picking a random token and rewarding in a random token. We're developing relationships and building trust and bridging the two communities together. What's the chances of if someone was rewarding in your favorite token that you're in, or something like that, or a token you're in that you see as a gem, and then this token comes along and uses you as a reward and does an AMA and all these different things and comes into your community with open arms? Why wouldn't you, consider, okay, so they found this token. How many other tokens like this can they find, for us, and reward us in them, so to say? So, there's going to be some investor sharing there. And that's really where the market volume comes from, is by pulling market volume from those other communities. But, on the flip side, we're also bringing them market volume.
Yeah, I really like this marketing because it's sustainable. I've seen projects that I've been involved with in the past just completely run out of marketing funds. This is a pretty common theme, when things are going so well. And that really never happened, because we come in and basically do communities a favor, because we're getting them exposure to our community, which we believe will grow very quickly. So I think people will love to do an AMA with us because they'll get that exposure. And it just kind of goes hand in hand, like Pat says, partnering with them. But back to your question about the kind of the bearish market and whatnot with the rewards tokens, these rewards tokens have pretty much only existed in the bearish market the way we've seen them lately. We had SafeMoon with reflections and whatnot, but we didn't have the BNB and the BUSD and the rewards of other tokens being paid out. So this is sort of, in my opinion, still kind of a bearish, sideways trend that we're in. So we haven't really seen what rewards tokens can do in a proper bull run yet. And I think the best ones are going to thrive like crazy when it comes. I'm talking the all-time high run that we are all looking forward to. I think just making it to that point is kind of like our goal, and trying to do as much as we can to get as many eyes as we can that trust us and want to stay involved and stay in the community, so that when that run comes, we can capitalize it on every way and really spin big when it matters most. But that's the beauty of the project now, and it launched, is that we can kind of do our marketing without having to break the bank. So we can use that bank that we accumulate through our marketing wallet when we need it, as opposed to just frantically like most projects will do.
What are your like long-term strategies with the project? Like, are you guys adding other features?
Yeah,
I'm looking at them now. I'm just gonna let you guys like divulge whatever you want to divulge.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at other features. Like, we're planning to have our dashboard rolled out before launch. Now that we pushed it back a week, we should be able to even have a dashboard out there. That's not really like a utility necessarily. That's more of like a use case for the users to be able to track themselves what they're getting without having to constantly refresh their wallet. Plus, it's got some, let me see. I think I have like a preview of it. I'll just have to crop it down so you guys don't see all the code on it.
Yeah, I guess you could just drop that in the chat, or if you want to just maybe share your screen. And
let's see.
I got to see the dashboard the other day. It's pretty badass.
I think AJ, you saw it.
I might have seen it. I've been trying to keep like an eye on things without actually like focusing too much on them, so I might have.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the dashboard? I'm interested.
It's just a simple dashboard idea right now. I mean, it's nothing special. It's not like a utility for the token. So like, let's say, like our gun safe, which is what we hope to be able to bring to partner with our other tokens that we partner with, is using the gun safe to be able to kind of drive a little bit of extra outside volume in. The idea is that these devs that we build partnerships with, whenever they need to use a locker, they would come back and use our locker, and it'll be obviously competitively priced and everything like that and open source for everyone to see.
Is there a rough timeline on when that's going to be available?
We're looking probably within like the first month and a half of launch. We want to get a few projects on our belt and build some good
Cool.
relationships before we really like start going for it too hard and heavy. And then after that, we got some gaming ideas, like almost like a little mini saloon type idea. It's not going to be like a major big game or anything like that. Not like a single one giant game. It's more going to be like an arcade idea, where you'll be able to earn like coins that could be traded for NFTs, and those NFTs could then be traded for, you know, Revolver tokens or something like that. You know, and you'll have to deposit Revolver tokens in.
To expand on that, are you like, you know, it looks like on your roadmap, the NFT game is going to be launching in 2022. Are you in any way worried that the NFT hype might die down by then? Why or why not?
No, I'm actually a huge believer of NFTs. And the reason is the NFTs have a much larger use case than just like a picture. You know, they're single sign out. You have to sign the transactions, and so they can actually be used as almost like a contractual type thing. And we plan to hopefully have a use case for those NFTs other than just their nominal value. And we'll obviously place a floor of a price on them that we would be able to, you know, purchase them back from users if needed be. They could trade them for Revolver tokens, so to say.
Okay. Do you want to explain maybe an example of like the use case for those NFTs?
I will. So, Pat, I'll let you too. So I am the CEO of something called Toolkit Finance, and it's the real quick use case without soft showing my project. It's just a collection of bots that's, you know, do different things to help you trade quick. And so to get access to those bots and you know, the information on Telegram, which is where we bring it to, you have to go on the site, use the DApp, and you get a unique code. Once you buy the NFT, it goes to your wallet, checks to your wallet, make sure you have it. You know, you put that code into Telegram, the bot will verify that you have the NFT, and then you'll get access to those private lounges and groups that have the bots within them. So that's the way you can actually use the NFT that we've kind of come up with that does not.
Which project is this again? Sorry.
It's called Toolkit.
Okay. Could you, go ahead and please chill the fuck out of that, because that's exactly what I've been looking for. Like,
yeah. It's not in public sale yet. It's private already, bud.
Sale, but we have this week as well. This is something that I've been focusing on, kind of splitting my time with, as I am the CEO. But so it's a group of bots. We got a sniper bot. We have a CoinMarketCap bot, Elon Musk Twitter bot. We've got a news bot. And kind of all these things roll into one or two Telegram, the DXL, and we get the API sending the data over to the Telegram chat and set up, along with all the metadata and the stuff that you'd want. For example, if you went on the CoinMarketCap bot, you would have that call out the second it gets listed on the site, whether it's unlisted and untracked or whether it's fully listed, and it would then send you that notification along with the Telegram, the website, you know, the contract number, the KuCoin, the DEX tools, whatever chain it's on. And it'll just have all the information for you within a second, ready to ape. And we do the same thing with Fair Launch, the same thing with DXL, Unicrypt, and also with different news and strings of information that we might find valuable, such as like a Binance announcement or a Coinbase announcement, so that you can get in and quickly scalp trade. So
yeah, I went ahead and I just put a screenshot of like what it looks like right there, like what all the groups are, so you guys can kind of see. Like, this is what we're talking about, and this is a part of our team too. The developer for this is a part of our team.
Yeah.
So, and that's how we're making sure we're making good calls for these, you know, tokens that we're going to be rewarding. You know, we're very well invested into these things. Like, this is right up our alley and our lineup.
If you see what I mean? In launching an NFT token, we can talk more about that potentially, because I actually don't have a launch pad right now for Toolkit, and I would be definitely willing to talk to that about with you. But yeah, I mean, that's to answer Popcorn's question. There's a lot of pretty kick-ass use cases for NFTs like that out there, you know, with sports, with movies, with media in general. And it's not just about a picture and a randomly generated piece of crap or whatever it is that you literally piece of poop for poopsies, if you guys saw that. They go way beyond that. I do agree that the auto-generated NFTs and those types of trends will come and go, just like any type of shitcoin trend. When you see baby attached to a name or a printer or whatever it is, these things are no different than average shitcoin. But NFTs I think they have staying power, and I think they have a place and a type of a type of access point on.
I don't think people are being creative enough with the utility yet. I think they're all just taking the easy route of, hey, I can make a collectible. I can just take a screenshot of of my tweet, and somebody will buy that. Which makes the rest of us look like garbage. When in actuality, like, we can genuinely do things with the NFTs.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the thing with the Revolver and like with the NFTs. Obviously, as you can see, our team's involved in more the deeper side of NFTs. So our NFTs will have a use case attached to them. They're not going to just be a solid picture that you're just like, oh, cool, I got a picture of a revolver or something like that. No, we want to attach a function to those NFTs, and that's the whole purpose.
I've been trying to find Telegram bots that have interaction to anything crypto related, like genuine crypto activity. There was a couple BCH tipper bots. I don't know where they've gone. Other than that, I couldn't find anything. So the fact that you guys are using the NFTs to actually unlock the Telegram group, is that how that works? The NFT itself is going to be whitelisting your
Telegram name, so to say, your username into it. So it's essentially the verification process.
And is there any functionality to be able to move that over to other Telegram groups?
Well, I mean, if they're linked into the same dApp, so essentially it's a dApp that gives you a code, and that's going to give you an access code based on your connected wallet that verifies that you have that NFT. Now, that code is only associated to you, and when you transfer that NFT, your code is no longer valid, and you'll automatically be kicked out of all those groups. So it can't be really like abused.
Yeah, it'll auto check as well. So and also we only give admins to people that we trust, so people can just add people to the group or send an invite link out, because that's one of the obvious vulnerabilities of Telegram is I just have this badass bot and I just secretly send you an invite and you just get into the group. That wouldn't be good, right? So there's only a few of us that have those privileges within the group, so that can't happen. But yeah, that is kind of something cool with NFTs. Just to answer Popcorn's question, I didn't want to get up too much of a tangent with Toolkit because this is Revolver, and
it's fine. It's fine to talk about all of our projects, man. Being involved with it, that way they can see where we're coming from. That this isn't just like a joke to us,
So that's the community. It has a big private community already that had bought into the private sale. We got about 200 of us in that chat of just really hardcore degen apes that look at these plays all day long and make scalp trades. We all talk about the things that we see, right? So one of the added benefits of it as well is that you get this really smart community of other apes that you can talk about making trades like that all day long with, all around the clock. And I'm excited to boost that up, but also very excited to put Revolver right at the front line of that. Another, one of the benefits of not only Revolver, but also Toolkit is we can also host AMAs, and we're going to make sure that people see Revolver. I can guarantee that. That's another thing they have. And again, just going back to, since you said the projects that we all are involved with, I manage SafeDex and Ethos, and that's a full-on exchange. And we have 8 or 9 communities under our umbrella right now, and we plan to blast this out all through them for Revolver. And just get this thing continued exposure through linking communities together. If you think of Cosmos Atom, if you guys know that one, I'm trying to sort of build Cosmos Atom on the DeFi level without necessarily the interconnected blockchain. But with just, having this underground network of badass traders that want to make money together and of all genres, get along, add more friendliness to the space, but, be more communal as opposed to enemies. That's the kind of thing I like bringing. And I'll do everything I can to get that Revolver as much as I can for exposure. I'm kind of the marketing guy and kind of the guy that makes the pathways. But Pat, he's the brains behind it, the guy that came up with tokenomics, the idea, and kind of ran with it. And so we've got other guys like myself in there from HOT and from those communities I mentioned that are in it, and they're going, pretty hard on it. So that just brings us back to you guys. We found AstroNAUT kind of on a whim because we had this falling out with another launch IDO, and they kind of screwed us around. We found you guys. I was very impressed when I went and see you guys' chats with the depth of knowledge you all had. So I'm really, really excited to see what kind of power you guys can bring to our launch, and then we can, make you guys proud and make this thing huge, and it can be a token that you guys always refer back to, and like, yeah, we're the ones that launched Revolver. We want to make you guys proud like that, and I think we can do it.
The one reason why I was so like adamant on making sure the launch went through and worked was seeing the amount of engagement in your team, like with each other and with other projects. I think fundamentally, like the most important thing right now in crypto is trying to get actual community built and community between projects, especially, so that we don't necessarily have to do all the interactivity on the blockchain level, or like interoperability from different blockchains, or we can actually link projects to one another. And you guys doing what you're doing with Revolver actually creates an interesting little again, revolving marketing strategy where each week the new token, it keeps people engaged. It keeps them like it keeps them invested in the week after, even if we do go through periods of low volume and volatility. If not necessarily getting the rewards they want to be getting, they're willing to at least stick around for the week after. You guys being able to like port in new tokens for rewards actually allows for new projects to want to get engaged with the community, as opposed to just, we're getting a lot of shit nowadays. So I think that I think the Revolver is actually really interesting. I think you guys are doing doing good shit.
Well, I wanted to expand on that actually, in terms reward tokens are typically dependent on volume, right? Like, what are your like actual plans to deal with times of low volume?
So that's what we were talking about there. I mean, that's kind of the whole plan right there, is like to continue going through it. But the full on nuance of it is just, it's all about marketing to get through low volume. Marketing is a time for development. Low volume is a time for development. It's a time for improving. It's a time for innovation to bring the volume back. That's really how we see it. It's not a time to abandon or jump ship, so to say, especially if you have holders invested and waiting. It's a time to really bring that upon. And we have a lot of experience outside of just this with low volume. And, we have some resolutions that may or may not have been acted upon on other ends that we'd like to enact if we do run across low volume. We also have the ability of extending claim times further out if we see low volume oncoming and our marketing's not working. We have ways to extend that, to extend people getting rewards.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the first iteration of the white paper that I went through, where the rewards can be set to come in at different times. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so they can be set to be anywhere between 1 hour and 24 hours, depending on volume or depending on us and what we choose to have it set at. Right now, it's going to be hourly, because obviously during launch you have high volume. We might, after the first 12 hours, extend it to every 2 hours to extend that reward to be given out, because I feel like a lot of people just leave it at 1 hour and they don't think about the implications of leaving it at a high reward constantly. If you look, I posted
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I posted the little videos in the chat. That's our little dashboard. There's the mobile and desktop version. It's obviously still a work in progress, but that's like the generality of the idea behind it. We still want to add sound and things like that, but like the flash, because the flash is like signifying like the gunshot. Stop on the reward it's giving, load up all the right names. It's not a DApp. We didn't want to connect it because we know how people are with security. Enter in your address and that's better.
What is there a minimum requirement for Revolver to receive rewards?
Yes, there is a minimum requirement.
What is
I gotta pull it up again because I can't remember off the very top of my head.
Yeah, I'm looking at so many tokens nowadays that I can't keep any of them straight. Like nothing's even sticking sometimes.
It's more so that I look at a bunch of.
Well, Pat finds that, JJ. So the reason why it's, we've actually in HODL, we tried to be this really charitable rewards token that looked after all the little guys, and it backfired on us horribly. We actually had
50,000.
there you go, 50,000 revolver, Pat.
50,000 revolver.
What does that equate to? It like a launch price? Can you figure that number out?
I can do that.
But my thing is, we dealt with that. We dealt with trying to take care after all these tiny investors that would invest like $1 and expect rewards. And what was happening was they were claiming their rewards because it was a manual claim, and they were literally paying more for gas than they were actually receiving, and it pissed a lot of people off. So then we made free gas fees for all of them, and it was this great novel idea that pumped our token, and everybody was happy. It was going to get free gas fees for all the little guys. And then we started, the reward pool just started shrinking because we were paying gas fees like 50 BNB a day in gas just to make that sustainable. So we had to get rid of that. And we've come full circle right back to where we are now, to where the point's like, okay, we need a minimum. It's like you can't go to a bank, invest $5 and expect them to give you $1 back every day. It's the same thing here. You gotta invest a decent amount of money, like maybe $50. I would guess that's around.
It comes out to $20 at launch.
Yeah,
$20 at launch. Obviously, that'll go up in price as soon as it launches. For pre-sale, it's $20.
Does that change? Can you guys actually change that over time?
Yeah, we can change that. That's not a set minimum. We can actually change that minimum at any point in time. So if we drop below, things like that, we can adjust it with the volume to make sure it's still like a sustainable amount.
Tiki was the first person to do that really well, and that's another reason why I chose that fork. So they made it to where it won't pay out and waste gas fees until it's worth paying out, basically. And that's what he was talking about. He can edit the time. So Tiki would always stay on top of that and edit that time, so where when they paid out the rewards, it was worth fucking paying them. It wasn't just like a 20-cent reward or something. Like, you'd actually get a nice one coming to you that would cover the gas fees and be worth seeing in the wallet.
And that's what's really important here, is this takes a very, like, a day-to-day dev has to be here watching it, and they have to be educated on the chart from their team, but they also have to be educated in what decisions they're making for the tokenomics and for the project within side of itself, for the rewards. And it's not just like you can't just check in on it every week. You got to be there every day.
Yeah, you got to
check it.
But wait, is this auto claim though?
It is auto claim, but there is the option to manually claim within the contract, and in the right portion, you can go and connect your wallet and you can click the claim button. However, if you do it through the manual, you will have to pay gas fees yourself, and you're not going to get your full percentage of the claim. So let's say you have an hour till you can claim. And you claim in 30 minutes, you're only going to get 50% of your reward, and you're going to have to pay the gas fee.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah, at this point, there's been so many reward tokens that have come and gone. It's like we can kind of see what worked and what didn't. And a lot of times, as I've said before, some of the things that came out during the bear market with reward tokens were sort of just like gimmicks to attract people towards the coin, and they didn't actually have that much success. So Tiki has been one that stood the test of time, and so is HODL. And just going back to your question about what we want to do during low volume, well, HODL dealt with that now for 4 months almost, and so we got some killers in here from team. I see Django and Andrew. They can speak to that and what they've been doing. Andrew actually got us on HODL. He got us 4 exchanges in 3 weeks, centralized exchanges. So we launched on Bitmart, XT, Dcoin, and we're launching on what is the other one? What's the other one, Pat? Top of my head.
Lbank.
Lbank. Yeah. So that was in 3 weeks. So Andrew, I don't know if you want to say what's up if you're listening, but that's the type of people we have in Revolver. We've kind of handpicked our killers and brought them here.
Anybody else?
Andrew's not a part of here, but Andrew's not a part of.
Go ahead, sir.
No, I don't think Andrew's a part of Revolver on the team here, but Andrew's I'm a big fan of Andrew. He's a great guy, but that's like that's like the type of experience we come from, is like surrounded by people like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody else here is from the Revolver team or is. Sorry, I'm half playing a poker game and half listening and still asleep. And anybody else here who's from the Revolver team who wants to speak up and introduce yourself and maybe talk about some stuff, that'd be great. Because honestly, there's no real structure to this. I want to make a video out of it, and anything you guys say now, we're going to edit and put up as in video format, so other people can reference and come back to. So feel free to talk about anything you want, show whatever you want, talk about any projects you want, anything coming up, anything.
Well, like I said, HODL's getting on another exchange. Bank's a big exchange.
Yeah, it's big.
No, we love HODL, and this token isn't to compete with any of our other projects either. And that's always like one of the things, like when we look at these projects and we're thinking of new ideas and projects, how can we not compete with our other projects that we're involved in? And that's the biggest thing on Revolver. It's not.
I'll bring something up because we were talking about this like slightly. I forget where we were talking about it, but I didn't want to get too far into it because it was us in text, and there's just no really way to like discuss it there. So I just left it. But we were discussing pools and farms, and like talking about like the pros and cons of that. If people are basically staking in pools and farms or as LP tokens, they're not receiving the rewards, right? So anybody who's holding the token in their wallet would be gaining extra rewards, right? Through what's happening. How does that work?
Right, they would be excluded from rewards with exchanges or with the pools and farms.
Both, so this probably back to that initial thing we were discussing. I'm wondering how exchanges fit into this as well.
Okay, let's break it into two different sections here.
Okay.
So pools and farms completely different than exchanges. So pools and farms, the way that works is once you stake your tokens in there, you're gonna have to pay the tax. So you're gonna pay the 10% tax doing that, and you're gonna pay the 10% tax when you pull it out as well because it's a transfer. But you're gonna get zero rewards for it because while your tokens are in there, they're staked into our LP contract. Our LP contract, or they're staked into liquidity. Liquidity is excluded from all rewards, but it's still subject to the tax if you're staking it,
right?
Because you're creating a new LP. And same goes with farming. Farming and staking are essentially the same work in like the same fashion, so to say.
Right.
Except for farming is you're just all bundling them there until it comes to you. So now that's the way those work. That's why I don't think they're the greatest idea. That's why you have a liquidity tax. A liquidity tax reduces the need for a liquidity pool to happen. Or
what about with exchange tokens? If there's tokens being traded on a centralized exchange, are those tokens subject to missing the rewards as well, or what happens with that?
So generally, those are missing rewards.
Yeah. So those rewards are different, but what we figured out with HODL is that a lot of these exchanges now are actually allowing tokenomics integration to a very big degree as well. And so if we do go on exchanges, which we plan to, that's something that we make very important. If we're going to get on there, then we want a percentage of those buys and sells and transfers to go to where we need it most, which will probably be our rewards pool. So that's one of the cool things about HODL is that they actually linked the exchange volume on the 4 exchanges they've listed on so far with the actual rewards pool. So we aim to do the same should we go on there. It won't just be like a separate pool in a separate location, that's kind of not affecting us after that initial P&D. It'll be something that can actually have some sustainability to the project's area where it needs it most, as I say.
Cool. Popcorn, you got anything?
Yeah, I kind of want to go back to the gun safe. And this is my last question, and then I'd like to open more questions to the floor. But why would your projects want to use the gun safe locker instead of like another popular locker service?
They're overpriced for what they are. I mean, I'm just being honest. They are. They're extremely overpriced for what they are. I mean, you're paying 0.2 BNB. Now, let's say BNB goes up to its all-time high again or above. You're looking at 0.2 BNB out of a $600 per BNB rate. That's a fifth of the price of that to lock tokens. Why? Why are you paying that much for the security of everybody else, not yourself?
What's your cost? What's Revolver's cost?
The Revolver's cost hasn't been determined yet, but I know it's significantly lower than that because it doesn't take in.
Pat, you cut out, I think. You guys there?
Yeah.
We're here. Yeah, we're listening.
Cool.
Yeah, I think Pat cut out.
Yeah, just while he cuts out. So I kind of had a novel idea too with the gun safe that I'd like to implement at some point. We have the developers to do it, and that is actually to pay the people to lock their tokens as opposed to just having a lower price, and we can pay them, getting them a cut of the rewards tokens. And so that's something that would be kind of cool. Like you lock your tokens up, and you actually are subject to being in that rewards pool as if you were holding a token. That's a pretty cool concept that I haven't seen anyone do that I would like to implement if possible. Maybe for Q3 after the gun safe's live and we've tested it and everything's good.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's all the questions that I have. I want to open it up to the floor. Is anyone here in voice? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have more questions for Pat and Dane.
Wait, is Pat back?
I
Let's give him a chance.
Pat, try leaving chat and coming back if you can hear me.
Yeah. Or
Text
like,
him.
yeah, someone text him.
Yeah, let's give him a chance to come back, and then we'll open it up to. I'm sorry for the lack of enthusiasm, and my brain is still.
Not
No,
though.
you guys are great, man. You guys are awesome.
You guys don't want to hear from us anyway, and like everybody wants to hear from you at this point. So I'd rather let you guys just keep talking. Anything else you want to add? Share anything, links, other projects, other communities. It's all good. Well, this video is going to be posted. Well, it's going to be the first video on the YouTube channel. We've had a bunch of other videos that were going to be the first videos, but for certain reasons, I decided against those ones. But this one's for sure, like, we're going to make the first video.
So I just posted a picture while Pat comes back. That's my Ethos network I was mentioning to you guys. It's just that's just a preview of our upcoming website. So we've rebranded to Ethos. We used to be called Super Shiba. But that's basically, like I said, we're kind of like an atom or cosmos. So we try to connect projects together and kind of merge communities, mods, admins, kind of sharing between the communities and kind of helping others get involved. Not as much of a kick-ass IDO as you guys, but more of just kind of like a network of communities, you know. And so that's.
Do you guys set up an incubator? Do you guys have like a way to incubate ideas from the community?
Not officially yet, but that's something that we want to get in there for sure. Incubator's badass, but it's, you know, this is kind of like there's so many things going on within our network that we're kind of like one thing to the next at the moment with launching projects. So when we get a little bit of downtime, that's something that we may look into. Are
you guys specifically sticking to BSC right now?
So we've actually, our exchange has a KCC network. So we've got SafeDex BSC, we've got SafeDex KCC. Up next, we want to add ADA. Of course, that's what everyone's going to try to get into, right, with this upcoming smart contract on September 12th. But yeah, I mean, it's just a friendly network of apes and guys that you know, want their tired of rug pulls, and so we've all kind of come together in these different genres of projects and sort of link them, and we want to add Revolver to that list. So it'll be in there for sure, and you'll see familiar faces if you ever happen to find yourself in another one of those projects, because we all kind of branched out between them and help each other. But yeah, that's sort of where I come from. And Pat, that guy's been in crypto now for like 10 years or something crazy. And he's I'm not gonna say he's a whale, but he's probably a whale. And he's got the experience, the knowledge, the technical skills, and now the developer skills to really run with the project. And it's been fun to see him kind of take this by the reins and turn it to what it is in the past two weeks. And I'm excited to help him make that grow and see where we can take it. I think that having the experience we have with HODL and just sort of watching all of our copycats that sort of emerged. You know, we copied Moonrat, you know, admittedly, we're the second rewards token like this. And then after that, it was just like everywhere. There was like Ghostface and Glitchy and all these other things. And then it just like went crazy. You know, you got Olympus.
Yeah. You should see the amount of applications I get every day.
Yeah. Well, now it's almost like you're expected to reward tokens. It's become so popular. So you need other utilities. So this gun safe and this NFT game are very important to us, because we don't just want to be, hey, this is all we got. If the volume's down, you know, sorry about that. You know, we want to have other things to offer. So we take that seriously, and that's why I mentioned the SafeDex stuff, is because we have that connectedness between our communities, and that's something that Revolver is going to tap into very heavily.
Well, and it's that history of, you know, making sure that a legitimate project, that's really where it comes from, is that history. And as you can see from like the products of the toolkit, is it's verifiable history. that we're doing the hard research, that the research has been done, that it's being put into it. It's not that it's just like, oh, come apply to be a part of Revolver and we'll host you, give us whatever, because we're not charging for hosting any of these tokens. And that's what people think is like, oh, this is a marketing token. You guys are probably making killer off it. No, we're not charging them for it. You know, we're doing this like fairly. And that's the truth behind it. But yeah, I don't know if you heard any of my answers about the gun safe. I don't know what happened. I walked outside for a second and I lost service.
Yeah, if you want to continue your answer, I don't think you finished.
I don't know where I ended. I was talking to myself probably for a good like 5 minutes out here.
So funny. I'm sorry. I think where you stopped was like you were saying that other locker services were just much more expensive, and I asked you about your cost or how much you guys would be charging other.
Okay, so we're gonna focus on like the time to develop it, the time put into the DApp, things like that, run the cost like that, the cost to host it, and that's pretty much how we're gonna base it off of, because it's not that simple, it's not that hard to do. The hardest part of it is creating the DApp around it. The contract itself is super simple.
I think Dan brought up the idea of paying others to lock up their tokens in some form of like reward system.
Yeah, that was an idea I've only briefly mentioned to Pat, but it's something that I want to compound on, just to fill you in on what you missed there, Pat. Yeah, it was like
like staking your reward down the line. Yeah. That's something we're already talking about, like with possibly doing like some sort of governance within the tokens that we choose to host. Is like submit your project, stake your tokens against it for a week, and we'll see if we're going to choose that project. We'll research it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
But that's just like that's still like a rough draft idea. These are all development ideas that we have just brewing in our head all the time, and most of these are, like won't have to affect the core contract. It'll just be like a DApp that you'll be able to interact with.
People are super impatient, like they're like, especially in the crypto space, especially this time around. Like the last bull run, we didn't have this many noobs. Like I've been around for a while, like since the beginning, so we didn't have this many noobs the last time. And I realized what was going on I think it was like 2 launches ago. Somebody jumped in and asked what the transaction fee was, and I think it was at the time, I think it was like 10%. She assumed that it was going to be 40% off the bat. She was so happy that it was 10%. I'm like, even 10% can be a lot. Like, but everyone's jumping into.
You're talking about, I don't even trade coins if it's over like 15%.
Yeah, no, even
like that's why our tax. That's why our taxes as a reward token, our taxes is one of the lower ones. And that's because I don't believe in that. That's not beneficial to the investor. And really, that's the biggest focus here is on the investor. Yes, obviously there's about the project and things like that, but the focus is a token's supposed to benefit the holder, and it's supposed to benefit the investor. And that's really where the focus is here. And I feel like a lot of people have lost the train of thought around that, and just like the train of thought about money, not the after effect of like what they're choosing. Is that really effective? Okay, oh, we're going to give you, so many rewards. We got 15% tax going to rewards. We got 4% going to dev wallet, 3% going to marketing, and 2% to liquidity. Here's a 25% tax. What?
Yeah.
What? How you want me to throw $100 in that? No way.
Yeah, exactly.
No way. The focus here is about the investor and finding them legitimate projects that we can curate moonbags for them, and we can help them figure it out. And we also want to be able to create some like interaction within the community, create some little games, things like that. Maybe a jackpot or something like that we can integrate for the token. And I feel like that's like the best thing to go about. It's just like try to keep it about the investors. Really think about them, and really think about like the crypto space as a whole. Like I said, like the whole locker idea. I know you guys have a locker too. But like the cost behind it is not beneficial to the developers that are truly trying to make like good projects, and they just don't have the funds. And that's where I feel like there's like a disconnect there. It's like you got to have all this money for all these different little things within launching a project. You got to pay for a massive amount of marketing. You got to pay for a locker. You got to pay for, launching the contract itself. I mean, given it's not much, but I mean, if you add it all up, it's easily over $100 just for the launch in the locker, plus the transactions to send out tokens. And then if you go to, having to go to an IDO or anything like that, and marketing and paying for all that, I mean, these people take 100% advantage of you. These influencers do. I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking, you can pay, 10 grand for one tweet.
Yeah, nuts.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
or like a shout out channel, like you can pay fucking, I think like DeFi Ape Calls, not to call them out on their shit or anything like that, but I mean, they're charging, $4,500 for a simple post in their Telegram channel that they're going to follow up with 5 other posts in the next 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Like there's things like that, and it just doesn't make sense, and so like, what do you have to do to gain those funds? That's where people start to get nefarious, is if they're not traders or well-known traders or whales or something like that, or have money from outside sources, 99% of the time they're turning to nefarious acts to gain their money and gain their funds.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I can't, or if they're not from, or they already have other respectable projects. Like you look at Olympus, they have Gabe and Bogged and all that. So like they all have projects where they've made money, or they're still pulling money and gaining money from, and they put that into the Olympus. So that's great that they were able to do that and create something, kind of innovative, so to say. And they're Tiki Fork too, So
Yeah.
with a little added functionality. And that's the thing. I mean, that's why forks are good and they're out there. And like people look at forks, oh, you're just another fork. Well, yeah, but that's where you got to get innovative with it. I mean, almost everything's a fork. There's very rarely any like realistic things. I mean, like Surge token, they were realistic, but guess what? They rugged today.
Oh, geez.
And that was an innovative token. So
no, I don't see anything wrong with forks. Like I think like personally, I'm very much on like who's behind it, right? So I think that you guys have experience. You are very concerned about making this a long-term thing. So yeah. I have a question from a community member. They're asking in chat, there's been a lot of hacks in DeFi lately. He wants to know what steps you're taking to ensure that Revolver will be secure.
So it's tracking you based off of your tokens. It's not tracking you based off of a DApp. It's not tracking you based off of anything like that. So creating a hack into this, it's not a re-entry type of hack that you would be able to do. So like Moonrat, the original Moonrat, what ended up happening with them is the DApp got hacked because they didn't have a re-entry protocol on their contract. And then that person, the nefarious actor, he went through and he drained their whole BNB pool. That's kind of why Moonrat died. Actually, that's the whole reason Moonrat died, is because the nefarious actor went back through the re-entry and was able to drain their BNB pool. Now that's why they came out with secured Moonrat, and then they went and got a CerTick audit and all these different things, because they fixed the problem. This contract is completely different than that. It doesn't require you can't do a re-entry, because the only way you would be able to gain, you get 2 tokens when you buy this. First of all, you get a ghost token called a dividend tracker token. That token won't show up in your wallet. I mean, you can add it, the contract address, if you want. It's in the contract on the read portion. If you go to dividend tracker address, you can add that to your wallet and you'll get a visible token. It's got 0 value. It has no LP attached to it. But what it is it tracks the amount of tokens you have. So every time you make a buy, it'll raise that token's value to be equal to the amount of Revolver you're holding. And then same when you sell, it'll make it equal. They'll both be equal tokens. That's how it does it. So there's no way to really like hack it unless you're able to garner those tokens. But those tokens are only minted when they're being sent out. So they're not like something that you can exactly just magically hack, or they're not being minted, so to say. And there's no functionality for me to have with that contract either, by the way. The only thing I can do is redeploy it and change it, or I can change the contract address that it's rewarding the dividend in. But it doesn't have like necessarily a function. It's like it's a dividend. It's a dividend. That's exactly what it is. Actually, it's just a dividend.
Not a lot
It sends out. Yeah, there's not a lot. There's no involved thing that I can do to it.
If any. Yeah,
Okay,
we've also got 3 other devs. We have 3 other devs on the project that are in the background, helping us with UI, advising us. That come from other projects as well that are just kind of not docs at the moment. But we got some pretty experienced, savage coders that are alongside of us to make sure we get everything right. And that's, I think, one thing I'm really happy about is that we've brought on a team that I'm very pleased with, to say the least.
Cool. Anybody listening in the voice chat, if you got questions, jump in now. I'm brain dead, and like, sorry. Okay, we're just testing out this new way of maybe doing AMAs and having a game going in the background. So anybody who's because people just zone out, having a game going actually makes it easier for editing for videos. So, but at the same time, it's taking too much of my attention, so I'm out of it. If anybody's got questions in the voice chat, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, you can post your questions in the main chat, and Popcorn will read it out. Please, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. Mainly Pat, I guess. It's Thomas. What you mentioned before, the 72-hour cycle, right? The typical, the 72-hour cycle in crypto you mentioned. Do you find the idea of
for that week, those tokens, we'll be able to not just say that, we'll be able to go into those people's community and inform them about it. And so we're opening our doors to a whole new line of investors that are real investors, rather than just making a post on CNC or making a tweet out. We're actually directly communicating with them. So I feel that's going to be much, much more effective than just a little thing. And just like a little tweet or something like that. And then on top of that, like, we're doing a giveaway. So at the end of the week, the 7 days, on the Saturday or Sunday when we switch tokens, whatever that giveaway wallet, we have a wallet that's specifically for giving away, and that's going to cure rewards. We're going to give away all the tokens in that. We're not going to hold on to any of them. Those aren't for us. Those tokens that it cures are 100% going to be given away to a user. So we'll start like a competition around like Wednesday or Thursday for that giveaway.
Cool.
So we're trying to keep it like kind of like proactive within the community, without outside. But that's kind of where I see it with like the rewards. Like, we're going to be creating anticipation, so there's reason to buy pressure.
Yeah, that's
keep going with the market.
That's true. Yeah, I just when you said every time you revolve to a new token, you'll get a pump. That's actually going to play out really nicely, I think, just from word of mouth alone, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can market Twitch, right? Like it's like everyone tries to give new utility or like new functionality, something different, and to blast out on Twitter. And a lot of times it's a charade, smoke and mirrors type thing. But we can just mark the fact that we're going to come onto this next community. Like we could be paying out in NOT, for example, and you guys could just blast out that we're about to, we're about to earn rewards for holding Revolver, right? And then that sends people to Revolver, and then when it finally actually starts rewarding a NOT, you just get this constant pump on your chart, so it benefits both communities. So it kind of just like connects them for that time frame. And to answer Thomas's question, I do think a week is enough in today's market. Might not be tomorrow. It might not be in tomorrow's, right? So there's no way to know. So it's good that we have that ability to edit that, because that is something that we wouldn't want to have this badass token. And it's like, oh yeah, sorry, it's over now. You missed it. If it's something good, then obviously we can keep it longer.
Yeah, and the good thing with it is it's kind of
go on.
The good thing with it is it's kind of going to run like how an IDO is. So like an IDO, they market you that they're launching you, and you market that you're launching on them. You kind of do like collaborative marketing, right?
Right.
That's going to be the same scenario with every token.
Oh yeah, I can't even wait until I start sending tokens your way. Like the moment we're about to launch token, I'm gonna discuss sending them your way.
Yeah, it's like a pump house. It's
cool. It's like a pump house. Exactly. And it's like, hey, here's a part of your post-launch plan.
Yeah.
Get on Revolver.
That's my favorite thing is I mentioned to you guys now about my toolkit and what I do and the groups that I'm with and the kind of inside info that we get really fast. And so I see guys discussing these absolute monster breakouts all the time. So we really have a good breadth of knowledge on what's happening in the BSC DeFi space, especially. So we can kind of use that to tap into upcoming like monsters. Like we found Ping at 4 million market cap. It's now 95 or 100. We found Axes at 1.5. Like we can find projects like that and start paying out rewards in that token. And then you just hold Revolver, and we're literally putting moon bags in your wallet. And that's what I'm excited about, because not everyone has time to go and scalp trade CMC or DXL or Unicrypt or whatnot. But if you hold Revolver Token, now you can sit there and leave that alone for a month. And in that month, you've accrued 4 very bullish tokens that you just hold. And then one day you wake up, you check your wallet a month later, and you've got $500 in there, or you got something even crazier, right? Because we put a moon bag in it and it happened to go off.
Cool. Yeah, that's actually That's
I mean, like some of these tokens that we're gonna like be hosting, like I know 2 of them for sure. I can almost guarantee they'll hit 100 million market cap.
Yeah,
like just based on like my personal trading experience, and I'm not gonna say like how much my net worth is or anything like that, but it's over 5 mil.
He's a whale.
So I mean that's just from trading, and so just like my personal experience, these 2 tokens, they're gonna hit 100 million market cap.
And you just said you're gonna host these tokens?
Yeah, I already created partnerships with them.
Yeah, we've already forged many partnerships with those projects that we want to host, and they know that's coming, so they're cool with it. And I think a lot of them are really, receptive to it. But yeah, it's like we're not just going to list them randomly. We're listing them based on timing. For example, one of the ones we want to list has a big centralized exchange listing coming, and it's really big for their market cap. So we're going to list them on our token pretty much right before that hits, and then for that week, you'll be collecting that token a little bit before it goes up, and then bam, it just, it's 10x before you know it. So we want to kind of, do our best to find those. We can't always get it, but I think we can do a pretty good job at delivering some absolute, moonshots to people. And I think this is one. I think NOT is one. I would definitely like to return the favor to you guys and get something going with NOT on that note, because when I first saw you guys, I immediately threw around $5,000 without even thinking. I was like, oh shit, these guys are for real. And so yeah, and this is the type of project we want to host on Revolver, is exactly where we are right now.
Okay, I actually have a few more questions for you from community members who are asking. I'm not sure if this has been touched on, and it might have been, and I might have missed it. And there's some new people that joined the chat, but What percentage return is given in rewards? And is it only BEP20 tokens?
It's only
are you
BEP20.
It's only okay.
Yeah,
guys
that's where we're at. So our dividend contract works with a router. So obviously the router it's using is PancakeSwap. So it's only going to reward in tokens that are launched on PancakeSwap. Just because that is the most widely used
Now you can
exchange. I
you
can
can't
change
use
it though.
Binance Peg though. You can use Binance Pegged ADA, for example. So rewarding ADA right away, and that's going to be, you know, it's on our network BEP20, but it is ADA, so you can swap it right into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But unless it's not a peg token, then it's going to be, you know, limited to just BSC network. But I mean, we do already have plans to expand to other networks, and obviously Ethereum's not a place for a reward token.
Right.
No.
Gas fees and things like that. But we are working on converting the code over to like Haskell to be able to go onto ADA.
Do you guys have any plans to go like multi-chain?
Yeah, that's the plan right there. That's what I'm saying. Haskell is what
Right,
ADA's
right.
network is written in.
Yeah, ADA, KCC, BSC, maybe even Matic or Solana, but that's a little bit more Q3 we're talking, so it's nothing set in stone.
Yeah, nothing's set in stone with any of that yet. We want to focus here and build our home base, so to say,
Okay.
before we start branching off into neighborhoods, you know?
Cool. I'm excited actually.
But yeah, so back to the question. Hold on, let me read it in the chat.
It's a percentage, Pat. That's what she wanted to know, was percentage of rewards coming back.
So the percentage of rewards coming back to you is based on the amount you hold.
Is there like a 5%, 10%?
Like what do you mean? So if you hold,
Okay, so just for
if you hold 1%, just for the sake of numbers, I'm just going to say 1%. If you hold 1% of the circulating supply minus the excluded addresses, so you have excluded addresses being, you know, a burn address, the deployer, things like that. So basically, if you take the circulating supply that is sold and out there, and you hold 1% of that, you will get 1% of the reward.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So okay, forget the excluded thing for a second. If you hold 1% of the supply and there's 100 rewards in distribution for that time block or that moment, you get one of those 100. So it's equivalent to, so if you add 1% over multiple wallets, you'd still get one of the 100 just distributed over the multiple wallets. It's annoying doing questions through chat because you have no idea what the other person.
That's a good answer though. I like how you explain that. It's a math. I just was quiet on this one because I can't stand numbers and math and stuff. But yeah, I just like to make money. As long as my number goes up, I'm happy.
So this kind of relates. This is coming from LJ in the chat. He's saying, like, you know, he notices that, you know, after the first round of rewards, people just are underwhelmed.
Selamünaleyküm.
Pardon?
Turkish. I am from Turkish.
Hi. Do you have a question?
How are you?
We're good. We're doing an AMA right now.
Good.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
Do you have a question?
I'm assuming not. Let's go back to
Okay. Yeah. Just to go back to a community member's question. So, you know, let's say he's asking, he notices that after the first round of rewards, some holders are underwhelmed because of unrealistic expectations, then they dump. Is there any like education to the community, or like how are you going to prevent against dumps? I guess I know that's kind of a dump, but
I mean, the thing is we just really have to watch the dumps because we do have a buyback function, so we have the ability to buy back some of the dumps. But that's going to be really based off of market time, market volume, what's coming in, what's going out. There's a lot of observation that has to go into that to make it educated and make the money go as far as it can, because you don't want to spend it all in one place. Dump spirals happen, and that's why there's a multiplier on the tax. So they're actually going to benefit the people that it's promoting people to hold the token.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and dump. Like you're just paying the rest of us off.
Exactly. They're just going to generate more volume for everyone else in their rewards, as well as the fact that when they dump, they're getting rid of their share of the reward. So it's kind of like a double whammy. First of all, they're getting taxed at a higher rate. Second of all, they're giving more back to everybody else. So it's kind of one of those things to incentivize holding. And the dump spirals do happen, and they do, and that doesn't just relate to just reward tokens either, though.
Well,
That's every token in general. The reward token seems to take it the hardest because people are just like complaining about it.
The thing with the reward tokens, actually, interestingly enough, is that there's a bit of game theory like just built into them, where the moment there is any form of inaction and low volume, less rewards, it could cause a dump, which then actually spikes the volume and adds the rewards. With most of the tokens that we've been seeing come out, because the reward is it's either one single reward or it's one fucking marketing or just nonsense reward. Like you completely get bored of it, or the value of the reward itself is also going down, so nobody really cares. But being able to cycle in new tokens every week creates a bit of, well, how do I want to put this? It puts a bit of a novelty and keeps people invested, kind of like playing off people's curiosity and gambling instinct of like, well, I could dump it now. So like, even it's hilarious. Even yesterday, I was watching the BitCrush. So I don't know if you guys have heard of BitCrush. They were the first ones we launched. If you haven't heard of BitCrush, you should take a look. I was watching the chart at the top of its climb, and I was like, okay, maybe I should take profits. But I could sense that everybody was thinking that. Everybody was thinking like, maybe I should take profits. And then the moment somebody did, it caused the cascade effect. Like that same thing happens with all tokens, but with this token, anybody thinking about taking profits, who either, if you guys have announced that there's what the next token is, or you could surprise people with what the next token is, you can build an element of like a internal game theory, which then keeps the volume itself as a variable for whether people should be buying or selling. It actually over time, it'll actually promote holding. It'll cause people to be like, you know what, I'll just hold this and not think about it, because you end up getting the best outcome overall.
Well, right, exactly. And see, the difference is the biggest difference. This is my thought process on it is, when I was thinking of it in my brain, is like another big problem with all these tokens doing rewards is they're doing something with a high market cap, right? Most of them are doing something with a massive market cap in the trillions. You're looking at fucking, BNB, for example, is like the number one rewarded, and then you got they're at like 86 billion or something like that market cap. What's the amount you're getting? You're paying $300 for one token or $400 for one token to split against everybody.
Yeah.
You look at it like this: we're looking at investing into small market cap tokens,
cool,
under 10 million. You're gonna gain a massive bag no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also a numbers play in your head. You're gonna look at that and you're gonna be like, whoa, I just got $500,000 of this other token.
Do you think that what do you think the main strategy is going to be playing out? Like, do you think people are going to be dumping the reward token and buying back more Revolver, or do you think that people are going to just be holding their
Revolver? The thing is we're obviously, some people are going to do it and they're going to look at it, they're going to get their first reward or second reward or whatever, and then they're going to dump, right? There's going to be those people. They're going to dump on that other person's chart. But what they don't realize is, we're still fucking hosting it all week. Like,
yeah.
Okay, you did that, but like most of these tokens, like I said, haven't even been listed on CoinMarketCap yet. So you're dumping it before it even gets listed on CoinMarketCap. Like, that's a guarantee pump.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to yourself, type of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then a lot of these tokens are still like under development with their further features. And like I'm verifying that like these features are being done. Like I'm not just like asking like, oh, can you send me a video? I'm like, where are you at with your code?
Cool.
Yeah,
You
we're
know?
not trying to like record rug pulls. You know, we want to make sure they're good and we have a good track record. That's very important for us.
Yeah, that's fundamental. Like if you get like that's the one, that's why our dev is also like super anal about it, and we love them for it. Like you get one mistake, like any FUD at all, just causes is backlash. But like if we launch somebody who rug pulls, like we're dead. And like it's the same thing with you guys. If you reward,
Yeah, no, it's the same thing with us. It would be the exact same boat for us. If we get one rug pull,
yeah, it's
we're
over.
dead.
It's
Yeah,
kind of tough.
It's done.
Same for me. I have an experience with safe decks. You know, we're called safe decks. So like we can't like host a rug pull on our exchange. You know,
yeah. So we have like a long history of making sure that like shit's legitimate. You know, like so that's where it stands with it. But like that's the difference with these tokens versus other reward tokens. It's like we're doing low market cap tokens. Like you're gonna gain a bag. You're gonna make profits on it, and you know.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Actually, I didn't.
You gotta think about it though. Like we're kind of creating, like just hear me out here. Here's the thought process. So we all know what it takes to get on CMC, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have over X amount of holders, and you gotta have X amount of market volume. Our token is literally gonna provide that for them because every one of our holders becomes one of their holders then.
Cool.
So there's going to be a CMC pump, you know, immediately after we launch them.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's
like
solid.
we're going to be self-creating that. So now you've got all these other investors, plus Revolver investors, plus their investors, because people research sometimes those tokens and jump into their community, you know, and so like essentially we're going to be hosting a CMC listing service. You know?
You can call it Scatterfire.
So say that again. You can call it Scatterfire.
I have a suggestion for that sub protocol. You could call it Scatterfire because you're practically distributing your ammunition, right?
That's pretty cool. It's like you reward a token that rewards a token that rewards a token. Eventually, it's going to happen. You know, it's just going to be like this line of reward tokens you're getting in your wallet.
Yeah, you're gonna get a reward token that rewards you. You're gonna be getting ADA, BSC, you know, or BNB, wrapped BNB, something. I don't know, BUSD. Who knows what'll end up happening?
I think
we're personally staying away from reward tokens. Though we'd like to see projects with real utility, and real aspirations, and that's kind of where this comes from. Is like, you know, find these tokens like that people are actually developing.
Yeah, I think actually, like the biggest thing that's going to keep this going is community. Community is what's going to make your project successful. And like with the AMAs, what are you guys doing with that?
We're requiring the devs to do an AMA.
Great.
Like that's 100% a requirement. That's not like an option. That's not an arguing point.
Like we're doing right now, like voice AMA.
Preferably,
a voice AMA.
Please,
Be recorded.
Please force them to do a voice AMA.
No, I'm not doing any text AMAs. That's not an option.
I don't know. And nobody even gives a fuck about those.
You're getting the dev of Cardano to do an AMA with you guys?
Well, I mean, like
no.
new tokens, obviously new tokens.
No, that's just the placeholder token right there. That's just a placeholder because we can't tell people what we're giving them beforehand. Because if we tell someone like, hey, guess what? We're going to host X token. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go buy X token before we do.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to pump that, you know, and then they're going to sell it. And we're not doing that. They're just going to snipe it, so to say. That's not happening.
Pat, that JJ brought up earlier, what you just said can also come true when we market a token. If we tell them we're going to launch a token, it can actually pump the token before we actually, you know, bring the token onto our reward system. So what JJ said, you know, can actually be a strategic way to do it, to surprise people, you know, to keep people on the kind of the edge of the seat, so to speak, so they don't know what's coming every now and then. So we call it the mystery token, you know, so we can kind of do a couple different ways there to get people interested in staying on board, because you don't want to have it to where there's a really bullish token 1 week, and then the token that we have coming up next week, we love it, but for whatever reason, the people that are holding don't, or like half of them don't. Then all of a sudden half your holders are like, oh fuck, I'm gonna dump this and come back later. So I think the mystery token thing you mentioned there, JJ, could be really cool to kind of just throw them for a loop and keep them interested.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You already have like right now we're playing poker, right? So fundamentally, poker's a way more fun game than chess. Like I don't like playing chess because you have you have full information. You have all the information on the board, right? Like chess is great, but you have all the information out there. So it removes the novelty, like the rat brain that wants to push the lever to see if the actual pebble falls out, right? Having the inambiguous reaction of the market and the charts, and then also adding the weekly reward dopamine conditioning, and with the element of, am I going to get the token I think I'm going to get versus I'm guaranteed to get the next token I want to get the week after. So eventually you're just getting them more and more invested, having that element of unknown built into the game theory.
Yeah, no, I love that idea. And that's what I love about AMAs, man. This is like, that's where this idea curated was doing an AMA for another token I was gonna do.
Hey, if you guys do them, I'll come in and record them. I'll come record them and edit them.
Yeah, dude. Because so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create like a previously hosted project, and like it's gonna be like an own section on the website, like another like web page, so to say, like a / whatever, previous reward or whatever, and we're gonna like list that token, the description, like a paragraph description about them, and then we'll put their AMA on the website, so everyone can be educated, and it'll stay there forever. So everyone can go back and look at them and things like that.
Are you guys planning on doing anything on any other platforms like YouTube, Instagram?
We're planning on like hosting like a podcast. Cool. And that's like, it would be like, like the weekly gun show or something like that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Cute. So this AMA has gone on for about like over an hour now. I don't know if anyone has any last questions, or if Revolver team wants to say any last words, or you guys can continue the conversation. I don't know. I just don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, maybe in the recording, and that way the people listening afterwards don't be like, "Oh, screw this," they see it like 2 hours long. Or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. But I mean,
I'm gonna edit it. I'll edit it to make it like my brain's shutting off, to make it
like
poignant. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's crazy. See, this is why I love Not, man. You guys are going the extra mile on small details and things like that no one else does. And that's what I noticed right away when I came into the chat. Was the dev, and you guys were really questioning us the way we needed to be questioned, and it even made us get better when you did question us in those ways versus if we didn't have you. And that's the incubation phase that you guys have here that I really like. And so it's been beneficial for us to come through you guys. I just want to say that before we get off, and we're happy to be here, and we want to make you all proud. And anyone that invests in us, we want to make sure you're happy that you invested in us. So we'll do everything we can to do that. And thanks for listening to Pat and I kind of rant here a bit.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that was great.
We're excited. We're excited for this to launch. I mean, that's why we were talking about the 17th, and we were ready. But I mean, final details have to be final details. We want to be protective of all the investors, which is why we said, yeah, take the time.
Absolutely. Sweet. Thank you so much. I think we'll end it here.
Bye.
We appreciate you. Appreciate you for coming. And we love the ranting. You guys made our jobs a lot easier, especially with my brain running on like 20% capacity right now.
But yeah, and we got to talk about we got to show every project we're in.
Yeah, obviously. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, man. No.
Anybody who's listening, we just played a game of poker while we were doing the AMA. First spot the douchebag on camera. You can see him like in popcorn screen sharing. He's also like obviously showing his camera. That fucking asshole who likes to suck out on me constantly, like in every fucking game. Yeah, that asshole just won the whitelist spot. So we're gonna at least have like 5 more games, one a day. There was a $50 buy-in, so the second place got the lion's share of that, and I basically just got my buy-in back. If we do that, we'll be posting it on every fucking Telegram group we're in. Other than that, you're going to need to buy 53 NAUT for the first round of the AstroShot IDO presale on the 23rd at 3 p.m. UTC. The second, that's going to run for about an hour, 2 hours. The second round will be a public first come first serve. So you can try and get on that if there is anything to get on, because I can guarantee, I can pretty much bet that NAUT holders are going to buy up the hard cap. But at that round, the first round should go fairly slow, so don't rush it. But just make sure you're here on time. Get your wallet set up. You need BUSD to purchase the token, BNB for the gas, and 50 NAUT in your wallet. So buy 53 NAUT to make sure you can actually interact with the pool. Outside of that, the actual launch will be 12 hours after on the 24th at 3 a.m. UTC, launching on PancakeSwap. We're going to have voice chat on AstroNAUT, Telegram, and I'm pretty sure that Revolver will as well on theirs.
Yeah, we'll have voice chat open, and then also we'll be hosting our first tokens AMA an hour after launch.
An hour after launch?
Yep, we'll be having the dev of the other token on there.
Cool. Is there anything this week that we should be looking forward to?
Right now, I mean, it's just going to be marketing. I'm always I jump on voice chat every day. I open it, just random times. But I'm just saying, on launch day, we will be hosting our first tokens AMA that day.
Cool. We'll definitely be hanging around with you guys for sure for that. Popcorn, anything you got?
I don't have anything else. I'm probably gonna go to sleep though, because it's my bedtime.
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. for me. Thanks. Okay, you guys are great. This is fantastic. I'm actually like super bullish on this launch now. I'm trying to figure out like if I should multi-wallet this or like I'm not even.
Now I gotta play poker for that whitelist spot. Damn it.
I know, this fucking kid. He just sucked out on me. So like, what do you like? He was at least paying attention. Okay, that's it. We're gonna leave this here and end the chat. Let everyone get to what they got to get to, and I'm gonna go try and sleep. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Cheers, all.
Take care.
Thank you. See you.